Good morning, everybody. It is Wanda here with today's tarot. I'm really very sorry that my transmission, I wanted to start earlier. I've been having trouble. My computer keeps cutting out from the situation. So as I go live and it goes black, and then there's an interruption. So I'm not entirely sure why that is happening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, everybody from all over the world. Here is Wanda today with today's tarot. I'm just looking for my tarot cards. I have to get that figured out as to why the transmission keeps cutting out. And it started last night and I thought it would rectify itself, but it obviously hasn't. Oops, hang on a sec, I've lost a card. How are you all this morning? I hope that you are well. I hope that you had a really great weekend. If you're live with me right now, why don't you type in the comments box if you haven't already and let me know that you are here and where you're hopping on from. And for those of you who will watch the replay, I'm only sorry I have to do this on my phone. So I'm going to do today's tarot without further ado. I was going to talk about a few things, but today, but I think that I will keep that for tomorrow until I can get my video and everything rectified. If anyone knows what the problem is, every time I'm on my computer and I go live from my computer, and I go live from my computer, what ends up happening is it goes black and there's an interruption. So I don't know what that's all about. I might have to, if you know anything about that, maybe send me a link. Otherwise I will most certainly have to discover what that's all about, because that's no good. Hello, Mornington Peninsula. We've got Perth. Welcome. Irina, hi darling. How are you? You're all starting to hop on. Hi Helen. How are you darling? I hope you're feeling better. Hope you're feeling better. Zoe, hello. Nina, welcome. All right, so what's today's tarot all about? How did you find the weekend's energies with regards to the beautiful new moon in Taurus? That's beautiful love energy. Ruby, welcome. Hi, Kate. How are you, darling? Lovely to see you. Tina, wow. How are you? Look, everybody's on this morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, Sylvia. I think you had a birthday. Happy birthday. And by the way, those of you who are hopping on right now who have a birthday, happy birthday. Maybe we should pull a card for all the birthday people. But this is for everybody and the birthday people. Okay, so let's have a look and see what the first card is going to be. Wow, look at this. Today's card is the Strength card. It is a major arcana card and it is exactly what it says. That you've got the courage of a lion. You've got the strength of a lion. Whatever is coming up in the future for you, you're going to know that you're going to be strong. And this really relates to me as well. I can really connect with this card right now. So what this card is showing for today, and also because it is a major arcana card, I will say that it is probably a card that's going to remind you of your strength for the next week, possibly 12 days, in the future. Okay, that whatever is going to come across your plate, whatever is going to come or opportunity is going to come to you in the next 12 days or situation, you're going to have the strength to be able to handle it. And in there she is very much, see, she's wearing yellow, like a yellow robe across her purple. Purple is usually the color of the spiritual energy, and yellow is the color of the sun or your solar plexus. It is the doing, the thinking mind. And so what that's actually talking about, that you'll be able to combine your spirituality along with your reality and your thinking mind in order to do what you need to be doing in the next 12 days with related to your strength. And that could come in the vise of maybe being strong to hold up family members. It could also mean that you are strong enough, that strength is not about how much you lift things. Strength is about having internal power to make things happen in your life. Does that make sense? So that is what that is all about. It's a beautiful, positive card. And usually this kind of card is also a reflection, because if the strength card comes in, it usually is the precipice for change in your life. Okay, so that is that one. So I'm going to put that right there so I don't forget that I've done it. So that's for the birthday people, and also for all of us, that you have the strength and power to move forward, and you may be called upon for your strength, your emotional strength. It could also be your physical strength too. And like I just said, I tried to sort of give you an example of the different avenues of mental strength, physical strength, mental strength, emotional strength, spiritual strength also. Does that make sense? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Osho cards rather than the angel cards today, just to have a look and see. Oh my gosh, they're flying all over the place. Just to have a look and see what's going to come up. Let's have a look. Oh my goodness, they're all, one showed up. Okay, hang on a sec. They all fell down. Oh, sorry about that, everybody. Okay, so today's card for the second card is about past lives. And a lot of us maybe on right now might be interested in past lives. I know that at the time, like in my early days of becoming spiritual, you don't become spiritual, you already are that. I was very wondering what my past life was and how maybe my past life might be affecting this life, might be showing me what the lessons I needed to learn about my past lives. And it's about, you've got the two rainbow lizards, and the rainbow lizards, the lizard in the Aboriginal sense of the meaning of the totem, and that the rainbow lizard, even in the Indigenous, doesn't necessarily need to be the Aboriginal field, it's the Indigenous power as well. What that is all about is diving deep into your subconscious. So the lizard is about going deep. It's about also resurrection as well, and surrender. And when you go deep, do you need to know your past life? Not really. What you need to know is yourself. And this card reminds us that each time that we are born into a new reality, and this one is like planet Earth, like the reality of Earth, we are coming into this reality with a new slate. Now, I know of stories where some children have actually remembered their last life and how they died. That is very, very interesting. And we usually, our mind is scrubbed out so that we come into this reality fresh. We come into this reality with a new idea. We come into this reality learning what's already in existence right now. And so that is why sometimes we can have feelings about places, like for example, if you might, I remember as a child, I had a deep interest in ancient Egypt as a little girl, and I didn't know why, and it wasn't until I actually went to Egypt with my mum and dad that I had an idea where things were. I was only very little, and yet I knew. I forgot that, of course, but my father reminded me. I seemed to know where things were, even though I was in Cairo and I was in a street. I seemed to know exactly the way to the pyramids. I knew everything, and I knew that things had changed because the dry earth was once water. So go figure. But anyway, that was me. Now, what does this card come up for? Does it mean that you all have to go deep diving into your past life? No, you don't. What it actually means is you are here to build on your lives of learning. And what it also is for you to remember who you are. And you look in your mirror and you can see your human form, you can see your wrinkles, you can see your eyeballs, you can see your hair, and you think that is you. But what this card is reminding us about, that deep within us, we have ancient years of experience and ancient knowledge that we still hold within us. And so stop looking out there for answers and go within. And this is what this card is all about. It's about diving deep within yourself to find the answers and to find the direction that you need. And this is where a tarot reader becomes very helpful, because on the daily basis, let's face it, when you go to school, your teacher's not going to say, now today everybody we're going to learn about past lives and I'm going to show you how to do that. There's no way that would happen, right? But there is a way. And how do you get down to that? How do you get down to that very deep soul level? At that level where you have access to all the knowledge of yourself, your history, what we call the Akashic records, okay, that are held within your head. I wonder if you knew that. So how we do this is through meditation. And how we do that is getting out of the monkey mind and even putting your hand in your heart and knowing that your soul energy is within you and the answers are within you. And all you need to do is ask, as Esther Hicks always says. And so Esther Hicks says, ask and it is given. And sometimes we're so busy in the monkey mind that we forget that when we put our hand on our heart, that we can ask our divine soul, am I in alignment? What is my next best step? And trust that little voice. And because our mind is constantly running the show, we forget to touch base with our inner being. And that is where we are all headed right now. The teachings and the learnings that are available on the planet right now are all about getting into that space of knowingness and just sitting there and putting your hand on your heart with your eyes closed, like what I'm doing now, and just ask if you know that you're in flow, if you know whatever answer you need to know. And so that is how this operates. This is how it happens. Does that make sense? And so that is what that's all about. You might even, with this energy of the new moon that's still in the next 4 days, that will be about, you could have vivid dreams about a past life. All you need to know is asking. And sometimes your past lives are a bit yucky. They're not always pretty as they're perceived. I went into a meditation. I had a past life that I was Cleopatra. Far out, That may be true for some of you, but for most of us, we had ordinary lives, living the ordinary lessons, no different to the life that you're living now, right? So, and learning the lessons, learning the understanding of realizing that you are whole and complete right now, and that you don't need fixing. You don't need fixing. You have all the answers that you've got. The programming in your mind has stopped you from the accessing that natural power that you already have. And if you realize that, then the next question you would be asking is, how do I get to know my inner self? And that is where a tarot reader comes in handy, because they can help you with the tools to get there. And that is why I believe, as a tarot reader, and why I help others with my readings, because sometimes they can't figure out which doorway to go through. And so as a tarot reader, I help them find that doorway. I hope that makes sense. So at the moment now, for those of you who just hopped on and let me know you're on the replay, we've got the Strength card coming up, Major Arcana card, next 12 days, very important. We've got the Past Lives coming up. Past lives meaning going deep to the memory of who you actually are. And as you know, I really love my Rebecca Campbell cards. Oh my gosh. Talk about, what do they call it when when you've got slippery fingers and everything just falls out of your hands. You know what I mean? I've got one of those. I'll pick the card. Hang on a second. Oh, my God. I've got everything squished up here because I was a bit worried about being late. The Rebecca Campbell card for today is protection. What is this all about? It says here to call back your power, to cut the cords and retrieve your soul. This is very important, and this is something that shamans do. Ancient shamans who are gifted the power to them through an ancient member or a tribe member. They are gifted the power, they are gifted the access, the knowledge of soul retrieval. And what happens to us in our lives through trauma and through severe anxiety and depression, we can lose ourselves. Usually trauma does that. You can lose part of your energy, fragments, and the fragments of your soul can sometimes be in your aura. And I have seen this in the healings that I've done in the past, where a lady came to me once and she was lying down having a Reiki session, and as I closed my eyes to do the healing, I noticed that parts of her soul energy were actually sitting outside her body, which tells me that, for me, and how I interpret it, that she had some near-death experiences. And then after the healing, I said to her, darling, and because she was very fragmented at that time, she wanted to get back to wholeness. And I said to her, I saw parts of your soul outside your body. They look like debris, like floating debris, as if they were out in space in the auric field. And I said, did you ever have any, traumatic experiences where you actually left your body, or you were dead for so many minutes, or something of that nature? And she said, yes, Wanda, yes. I was in a car accident with my mother, and I was unconscious. Yes, that was very traumatic. And the other one was when she was a very little girl, that she actually drowned in a pond, in a little pond, and she was found, and they don't know how long she was dead for, but I could see that one was bigger than the other. So when you're a trained healer and when you're trained in that way, you sort of get to see those things. So this is about bringing back the trauma and not reliving it, of course, but if you're fragmented, you can call those parts back to yourself and protect yourself, cutting the cords. So if you're still connected to somebody who's extremely ill, or somebody who's extremely narcissistic, or somebody who's toxic, and you are living inside that space and you are still connected to them, you still feel that you are connected, then you need to cut those cords. If you need a session like that and you want to know more about this, send me a personal message, okay? So this is about that, and I want to do this little prayer. Let's have a look, because I know there's a prayer, if I remember right. Let me find the book. Hello. I'll find the book and we'll do the prayer together. Hang on a sec. There it is. Okay, right. Hang on, I'm going to put my glasses on. Hang on a sec, because I can't read the tiny writing. Are you ready? Oh, hang on a sec. Okay, let's go. My glasses aren't even clean. Are you ready? Okay, put your left hand on your heart, like so. Close your eyes. Are you ready? And repeat after me in your head. Here is the prayer for protection, cutting the cords and calling back your power. Repeat after me. I call back any lost fragments. I call back any lost power or light right now. Any vows, soul contracts, hexes, programs from the past or the present, from this life or other lives that are not in the highest good of all, I relinquish now. Any power or light that I have willingly or unwillingly given away or had taken from me, I call back now. Any cords or attachments from this life or others, I release now for the highest good of all. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. So, calling back your power, cutting the cords, clearing your auric field. Now. It is happening now. Isn't it beautiful how the cards sort of connect together every day? This card, diving deep into your meditation and know who you truly are. Once you do, you get clear. And this week's card, the tarot card, is about strength. There we are. 3 beautiful cards for you today. They're very powerful. This reading isn't just a daily reading, this one. This one's very strong. This one's going to be around until the end of the month, I feel. Okay, so if any of this relates to you, if any of this connects with you, tell me in the comments box, write it up. Yet Wanda, I'm dealing with that, because every time you write something down in the comments box, people read the comments. I read the comments, but people read the comments. People connect through the comments. So you share your wisdom, share what's going on for you, and people will respond to that because you're sharing with the big wide world. Because why? We are all one. We are all one, everybody. And so what another person's life experience is could be different to yours, but the feeling is the same. The lesson could be different, but the emotion is the same. I hope that makes sense to you. And I think I've talked and jabbered on long enough. Guys, have a really beautiful weekend. Week. Don't forget, if you still want to be part of my to recovering your sovereignty, recovering that. There's a 5-day program I have created for people who wish to work with me for 5 days. And it's a private group. Okay, so if you want to be part of that, I'd love you to. But the proviso is that you buy a 1 hour tarot reading with me. So if you're interested in looking at where your next best step is, if you're interested in that, then by all means send me a message. I'll send you the PDF. You make a decision, and then on the 20th of May, I'll be working with you with the group in a private Facebook group, where I'll be actually teaching you and giving you skills on how to access that best power of you, and if you've got a block about something, we'll get rid of it. But you have to be willing. If you're not willing to do the work, don't even contact me, because I'm just looking at people who want to do the work, who really want to go next, the best version of themselves, and that's going to require you to do some work, right? It's just like being that caterpillar and going into the cocoon and cutting out of that cocoon. The birthing process is difficult. Learning to expand and learning to wake up is difficult. It is difficult to get to that next level. It does require pain. It does require a bit of struggle. It does require getting uncomfortable, and it's not an easy process. So if you're keen to do that, if you're keen to go the best version of you, know that you are sovereign. Know that you are God already. You are part of that image. You are part of that soul energy. Because you are sovereign, then by all means work with me. 5 days, change your life, but only if you do the work. Where there's no pain, there is no gain. Okay, so I hope that's helped. I'll see you later, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Hopefully get that thing sorted out. Bye for now, everybody. Bye.